West Ham have played a bit of a blinder, it has to be said. They've absolutely manipulated the press. They've manipulated me. They've manipulated absolutely everybody with the pursuit of Crysencio Summerville. Absolute genius. This is what it's been needed for quite some time to basically misdirection, smoke and mirrors, all of that stuff. The story that came out a couple of days ago that said that West Ham are walking away from the deal for Crysencio Summerville because Leeds hadn't accepted their £20 million offer was swallowed by everybody. I didn't read anybody turn around and say, actually, we're still in for him. We're definitely going for this. This is smoke and mirrors. Everybody, hook, line and sinker, everybody took the bait on that one, and it seems to have allowed West Ham the breathing space to have made this deal possible. I love this deal. This deal is brilliant. Everything I didn't like about the Nicholas Füllkrug transfer rumour and potential signing, it may well be that he signs later on today. I think we'll have a few updates coming today, that's for sure, on this channel, so stay tuned. Everything I didn't like about that, this is the complete opposite. Young player, best player in the Championship last season. I think he might have even won Championship Player of the Year, quite possibly. Stand to be corrected on that, of course, if I'm wrong. Good price, great player, fast, fits the system, and sorts out a problem position, which has been bother. It's been bother for West Ham for so long. I call it the graveyard shift, the left-hand attacking position, left wing, or whatever you want to call it. That's the position where players go to die. It doesn't matter whether it's Said Benrahma who goes over there and basically and just becomes a shadow of the player that we signed. You know, thank goodness for Benrahma. Good luck to him. He's gone to Olympique Lyonnais. He starts flourishing again. Pablo Fornals, who joined us as a sort of left-sided attacking midfielder, turned into a holding winger, a defensive wide man, went out there. Even James Ward-Prowse had to do the graveyard stint last season. The only person that remotely convinced him from time to time was Lucas Paquetá, and that's because he had a really good partnership with Emerson. But ideally, you don't want him there. Really interested to see what West Ham do this season. The fine detail is as follows: £25 million deal with £5 million worth of add-ons, and I think it's a good deal. I really do. But I mentioned this a little while ago, and a video I did, 3 or 4 days ago with Gio, and I said I suspect there's a transfer ploy. I suspect there's a strategy, and it wasn't particularly with this. I'm not going to try and claim to know it was with this particular player, but I did think West Ham would be impatient. I'm not seeing a whole load of big mega money bids for players going in. There aren't too many teams in world football who have a spare £30 million to spend. So actually, even if you're valuing a player at 40 million, then you ain't necessarily getting that for him. I'd suspect it might be the case with Patience, with Duran. I suspect it might be the case where we're sort of biding our time with Todibo and a few of these players. And it would seem that that's exactly what we've done with Summerville, because at very much the start of the window, it was a case of Leeds want to get, I think they got 40 million for Archie Gray, and maybe they were looking to sort of match that amount as well. But nobody was going to pay that because, as I said, there's just not that many teams out there with that sort of spare money. West Ham are one of them, because we've been quite frugal over the years, because we brought in a lot of money last season, obviously with the sale of Declan Rice and a few other bits and pieces here and there. We're cash rich. Kieran Maguire told us that much on Hammers Chat. We are cash rich. And I'll tell you what, we've gone out and spent it. This is a guy who's going to improve. I hope he's going to get better. It's a lot of money, don't get me wrong. It's 25 million is not to be sniffed at. Let's get that absolutely right. But it's still, if he improves, then, you might be getting some bigger bids for him. Hopefully he does improve. Hopefully he, in many respects, becomes the player that perhaps Said Benrahma should have been. I do think he's perfectly suited to what it would seem that Julian Lopetegui is going to want from his wide player, which is not. He's going to want an inverted wide player. I think his speciality is going to be cutting in, shooting on his right foot. He has enough going the other way and going to the byline to keep his opposition defender guessing, though, where he's not always going to cut inside. He will sometimes go down the flank. He's prodigiously skilled, but I don't think it's going to be necessarily required to go to hug the touchline, run down there and basically whip crosses over his left foot. I think that's going to be Emerson's job. So this looks to be a really good signing. he's a great player to watch. Do you know what I'm really pleased with? It's signing players from the Championship. So, and you've got to hold your hands up and say, well done. Well, whoever's done this deal, and let's give Tim Steidten some credit. I mean, was critical enough I'm not happy with a ridiculous Fulkrug deal, or still not, truth be known. That being said, maybe, just maybe, I don't know how, this is a complete guess, by the way, maybe, just maybe, if we have genuinely pulled out of the race for John Duran, and I'm not convinced, by the way, but if we have, then maybe we thought, do you know what, let's go and spend some of that money on a winger, and then we'll go and spend what's left, basically 25 million, 40 million, 15 million on Fulkrug. Then, maybe that's what we've decided to do. And look, if that's the case and he comes in, as I mentioned yesterday, I think he's a decent player. I'm still not giving up on Duran, as I say. But one thing we have noted in the last couple of days is West Ham's ability to play the media, and I think they've really, really done that. And do you know what? We just don't know what's going on. I mean, it would seem, but all the indications are that we're going to buy Aaron Obi-Wan-Bissaka, which is brilliant. We're going to buy Summerville, and then everyone is saying Fulkrug, but 3 deals, I mean, that would be immense. That would be absolutely brilliant. In many respects, you've got sort of everything covered there. You've got a very, very experienced player there. Then you've got somebody who's, in their mid-20s with a point to prove, and then you've got the young up-and-coming whiz kid, haven't you? So I think this is really good, really, really good. If we can get 3 players over the line, then great. But I don't think business is done then. Still think central defender, and I wouldn't be surprised if a central midfielder comes in as well. We're going to all get to play the game of what's the starting 11. That's going to be really, really interesting. I've sort of got one in my mind at the moment, and I do wonder who gets to play centrally. And I think possibly Summerville will start on left. Look, we'll do that. It's a conversation for another day. He's got his medical booked for today, this morning. And then he's going to... I'm not sure if he's having his medical then flying out to the States, or he has his medical in the States. There's no reason why he can't have it in the States. He's got perfectly good medical people over in the good old US of A. So he might have it over there. Not entirely sure. The personal terms have been agreed. That was Fabrizio Romano, who said personal terms have been agreed. Yeah, look... Wise after the event, a fair play to the club on this. You've got to say that's 1-0 to the club in terms of a bit of misdirection. They leaked the news, and the deal was done. West Ham, all the big hitters were saying that's it. We're out the deal. And as I say, just allowed us to breathe in space. I do wonder what else is going on. It does make me, maybe it's more hope than anything else on Duran. But I'm mindful that I have that weird thing going on now. Is because I feel like we've been denied John Duran. I sort of want him even more. A bit interesting that. But make no mistake about it. Tim Steidten is someone that is more than capable of signing an older player. I mean, Werder Bremen brought in plenty of senior players over there, as well as the young up-and-coming stars. So, look, there's a balance to be had there as well. And you know what? If it turns out we do sign Fulkrug as well, I won't. Once it's done, it's done. I welcome him to West Ham and hope he does well and get fully behind him. I just found it, maybe, as I say, maybe I've been duped on that one. I just found it hard to believe that we would. But as I record this now, it's really, really ramping up the speculation. And I've got to say, I'm very impressed with West Ham, actually. If they can manage, even though I might not like every single one of the players, would not be my first choice. Whenever do you get your first choice? Not that often, I'm guessing, in football. However, it would be impressive to pull off a triple deal like that. And you would... It's not done yet. It's not done, but you'd have to look and you'd have to say, for us to bring in the young buck, the young whiz kid, wonder kid in Guilherme, Lewis Guillaume, to you and me, to bring in Max Kilman, to bring in Obi-Wan-Bissaka, to bring in Summerville, if we can bring the striker in as well, all of those... And Wes, me old mate Wes, clean sheet Wes, right? Let's not forget Mr. Fodringham, for goodness sake. And tie down Orford on the deal, and it's all before the end of before the start. A ball's been kicked. That's good. I mean, that's good. You'd have to be I certainly wouldn't be moaning about it. You'd have to be a bit of a meanie to start moaning about that one. I'm impressed. This Summerville in particular. This is the guy I want to see him play. I'm excited to see him play, and I think it'd be a nightmare. I think look, we know how clinical Bowen is, and I'm making assumptions on who's going to start here. You've got to assume Bowen and Kudus are going to start, right? You have to. They're so good. They're borderline world class, the pair of them. So what would I think? I do think it'd be an absolute nightmare in a team to have those three running at you. I really do. I really, really do. Going to be pretty exciting. We've got to sort that back line out. We know that's the weak spot. We're really crap defensively. Midfield needs sorting out. But as a front line, it sorts out that from an attacking perspective. And really, really excited about it. I think I've covered all the main stuff. 25 million plus 5 million. He's flying over to America. Wages have been agreed. Medical's being done today. Very, very, very stealthy, West Ham. Very stealthy, but I like it. If you're a regular watcher, remember what I said at the start of the window? I spoke about Tevez and Mascherano and how I used to like getting a surprise on the transfers. I felt we needed to do it. We needed to do it, and I am very aware of the irony of somebody that talks about West Ham and transfer rumours on almost daily basis, wishing for a little bit of quiet. I don't mind at all. I don't mind, as you know this, that's why we've got the poppycockometer, right? I don't mind if the rumours are false. I enjoy the transfer window, I enjoy the grapevine, I enjoy the buzz that's around it, I enjoy the rumours. But I just feel for the club, ultimately I'm a West Ham fan and I want us to get the best players. I want us to sign the players. I want Orford to sign a new deal. This is all the stuff I want to happen. So therefore, in terms of these latest ones, I'm glad we've kept it quiet. And it's not that Summerville has never been in the news, but there's been other carrots have been dangled, haven't they? Jota Silva was linked for so long. Of course, Reece Nelson more recently. There's a number of wide players. Matthias Solé, that as you'll be thinking and reeling off loads yourself now. Possibly we were in for all of them. Possibly we weren't. But and Summerville's name has popped up, right? But I don't think it was always difficult to know whether we definitely going to sign any particular one, but there's been enough interest in a left winger, or whatever you want to call him, left inside forward, to suggest we were going to get one. I'm absolutely buzzing with this. Absolutely buzzing. I don't think that's all. I don't think it's the last. You unlucky lot. I don't think it's the last you'll see of me today. But as it stands, what a player. If you've not gone and looked, if you don't know much about this guy, most of you will have seen him because he was such a big, important player for Leeds last season. And look, let's be fair. 25 million plus what they got for Archie Gray. They can really go and strengthen. It's going to be tough on them because this as being a West Ham fan, you lose players. It's a brutal world, football, isn't it? Crikey, we've had to go through, the last 2-3 years, but be it Declan Rice rumoured to leave, or Mohamed Kudus, or Lucas Paquetá, or whatever. Clubs come along and they poach your players, but I would hope Leeds have got enough money there in the bank to go and get some really good players, and maybe they'll get promoted anyway. But if you've not had the chance, you've not seen him, you've not seen Summerville, go and have a little look, go and have a look at some of his highlights. Really good player. You will watch it and think, well, hold on, those look like the highlights of Saïd Benrahma when he signed for Brentford, and they do. But I do think it's different now. I really, really do think it's different, and for two main reasons. Number one, the player himself is that he doesn't. Benrahma finished off by always cutting inside, and they would always check back because he wasn't quite quick enough. Summerville's not that. He is quick enough. He can cut inside or go. He'll keep his defender guessing. And the other thing is the manager. Moyes was never suited to Benrahma, and I'm sort of looking at this now, and I am thinking that actually Summerville, the more you watch him play, the more you look at what Lopetegui wants from his wide attackers. You can't help but think this is a really good signing.